What happens when you have a presidential debate gone rogue, a wannabe Pence character, and a podcast on the take? Find out next on Funny Affairs Now. Hey there, welcome to Funny Affairs Now, where we take the world's most jaw-dropping headlines and flip them into laugh-out-loud stories. I'm your host, Aaliyah, your guide through the latest news chaos with a twist of comedy. Whether it's politicians in a pickle, courtroom capers, or squatters hosting house parties, we're here to make sense of it all. Get ready to dive into today's funniest affairs and stick around because more madness will always come. Hit that subscribe button, and let's get started. The bright lights of Philadelphia had set the stage for what promised to be a historic showdown. In one corner stood Donald Trump, wielding his trusty Twitter thumbs and a bag of wild claims, including a new one that had everyone scratching their heads. Migrants, he insisted, were dining on America's pets. In the other corner was Kamala Harris, armed with sharp wit, a killer smile, and the unexpected backing of Taylor Swift, who had decided politics was the new arena for her squad. Trump kicked things off with a flurry of grievances. The election was stolen, the media is unfair, and his piece de resistance, the migrants are eating the pets. The crowd, a mix of supporters, skeptics, and bewildered cat lovers, sat in stunned silence. Fox News quickly entered the fray as Trump's face contorted in frustration and his words spiraled into pet-related conspiracies. Fox commentators scrambled to rewrite the narrative. Jesse Waters proclaimed all the memorable lines were his. Pets or no pets, this man knew how to command a stage. Meanwhile, backstage, Trump brainstormed new nicknames for Harris. Sensing the need for a new angle, Trump's campaign painted the debate as a David Vance. 3 against 1, cried Sean Hannity. Yes, 3 against 1, echoed Trump, while viewers wondered if they had missed an episode with extra moderators. The next day, Trump doubled down, citing mysterious polls from even more mysterious websites. 92-7, he exclaimed. Huge Fox friends nodded along, ever loyal, while Neil Cavuto dared to suggest they might be living in an alternate reality. Trump's response: to declare Cavuto the worst anchor on TV and suggest that Harris wasn't black, a BC was rigged, and perhaps his next debate should be hosted by his cat, Mr. Whiskers. Meanwhile, Harris called for another debate. Trump, on the defensive, contemplated targeting the frat vote, cueing interviews with internet personalities, while his aides juggled whether to lean into the eating pets narrative or pivot to something less. Back on Fox, Hannity attempted to steer the conversation to safer topics, like plastic straws, but it was too late. Trump, ever the showman, declared it his best debate ever while his campaign tried to pull a rabbit out of a hat. Ratings soared, though it was clear America got more than it had bargained for. Imagine this: you're tuning into your favorite political podcast, expecting the usual punditry and polite banter, when suddenly JD Vance drops a plot twist straight out of House of Cards meets Survivor. He's asked a simple question: what would you have done if you were Mike Pence on January 6th? Vance leans into the microphone and begins a tale so strange that even the podcast hosts start looking for a laugh track. JD Vance, Republican vice presidential nominee, found himself on the All In podcast when he dropped a statement that turned heads. He said, if I'd been vice president on January 6th, I would have gone along with Trump's plan to delay the certification of the election. The podcast host blinked in disbelief, not sure if they were hearing the newest plot for a political thriller or just another wild day in the 2024 campaign trail. Vance leaned in, doubling down. I would have asked the states to submit alternative slates of electors. Let's have a debate about the election. He continued, unaware that his political strategy sounded like he was auditioning for a high-stakes game show, Election Jeopardy! As Vance laid out his plan, it became clear if he had been in Mike Pence's shoes, we'd be in for a constitutional crisis, or maybe just a whole new season of The West Wing. Vance, embracing the spirit of improvisation, envisioned himself telling Congress to send the matter back to the states and let them argue it out like contestants on Survivor. His backup plan? Let Congress decide, Vance exclaimed, effectively suggesting the U.S. government transform into a reality TV show complete with dramatic pauses and an elimination round. Vance didn't stop there. He took a swipe at Pence, insinuating that the former VP would endorse anything if Trump asked. If Trump wanted to start a nuclear war with Russia, Mike Pence would be front and center, waving the flag. Vance quipped, mixing military strategy with talk show banter. Political analysts and comedians alike began to wonder if Vance's campaign was secretly sponsored by a satire network. Vance's statements raised eyebrows even among his own party. Did he just suggest Congress play rock, paper, scissors to decide the presidency? A bewildered lawmaker muttered. Yet, Vance seemed unfazed, content to mold himself into whatever shape necessary to fit Trump's vision, no matter how cartoonish it might seem. It was just another day in the world of online commentary when suddenly the headlines broke. Right-wing influencers, including Dave Rubin, Benny Johnson, and Tim Pool, were allegedly paid millions by a mysterious Russian-backed operation. The news hit social media like a bombshell. Some fans were outraged, others amused, and the rest were busy making memes with Russian nesting dolls labeled secret funding. The influencers quickly issued statements. "We're victims here," they declared. "We had no idea where the money was coming from." Meanwhile, the Justice Department detailed how $10 million had been funneled to Tenet Media, a Tennessee-based company, to amplify pro-Russian narratives. Rubin, ever the media strategist, insisted, "I had no idea this was Russian money. I thought it was just a really generous guy named Eduard Grigorian." Who would question that? As questions swirled, Rubin went on his show to explain. "Look, $100,000 per video is just market value," he insisted. "And besides, I haven't even spent it. The majority of it is just sitting there gathering dust." He described the money as inconsequential to his lifestyle, as if he had been paid in monopoly money. According to the Justice Department, some of the creators were told the money came from a wealthy Brussels-born financier named Eduard Grigorian. In reality, Grigorian was as fictional as a Marvel superhero. On the other side of the aisle, right-wing commentators tried to downplay the controversy. Senator Tom Cotton brushed it off. "A few memes or videos aren't going to sway an election," he told CNN, while secretly hoping that no one remembers all those warnings about foreign influence from 2016. Meanwhile, other Republican figures scrambled to distance themselves, adopting the strategy of "don't look, don't tell." Benny Johnson remained tight-lipped, perhaps trying to figure out how to spin the situation into a new viral video. As the investigation continues, the internet remains divided. Some see the influencers as hapless pawns, others as opportunists caught red-handed. But one thing is clear: the Russian money saga is far from over, and there are still many questions left unanswered.